Morning, Kit. How are you, darling? Are you okay? Good morning, good morning. Right, you can't come up. You can't. Sit down, please. You can't come up. Yogi wants to come and play, but there you go. Shh. There's no one there. Talking to the camera, look. Morning, Trisha. How are you, darling? Shh. Or I'll put you outside. You've got to be a good... No, you sit down, please. You be a good boy. Are we all okay this morning? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm really excited about the project I'm about to show you all, actually. Morning, Claire. How are you? Got a really great project. I'm really excited about this one. Yeah. Scoreboards and etc, etc. Morning, Jacqueline. I'm going to do instructions for this in my newsletter. So there will be instructions coming out in my newsletter this weekend for this project. So because it's a bit of a doozy, actually. I'm really excited about this. I was inspired by a demonstrator from New Zealand called Susan Wong, and I'll tag her in this in a bit, who is part of a group of artisan demonstrators called the Crafty Carrot Collective, and they are doing a bit of a challenge and stuff this month, and inspiration stuff, and I watched her live, which was brilliant, and wanted to play with what was on my desk, not what she was using, but use her layout, if you like, her card front layout, which I've done on the front of what I'm about to show you. So I'm a little bit excited about this. So don't look at it and go, oh my God, I can't do that, because you so can, okay? You so can do this. Everybody can do it. And as I said, I will put the directions in a newsletter this weekend. There's going to be a newsletter coming out. So anybody who hasn't got my newsletter, you need to sign up to my newsletter, and I will. You'll have all the instructions and the directions in the newsletter. So I'm going to turn the camera down and around. I've prepped some bits already. I hope you've all got a cup of coffee. I'm a little bit excited. So I'm going to turn the camera down and around, and we're going to make a start on this. So down and around. Right, and I'm hoping, hang on, I might need to slide it just a bit that way and a bit that way for a minute. And I'm hoping that that will be pretty good. Right, I keep freezing here. Hang on. So Facebook is doing its normal for me, which is, you know, a bit of a pain. Right, so what have we got? Okay, so that looks quite good, although it's now frozen again. Okay. Why isn't this playing? Right, I'm a little bit behind on that. Oh, hang on, now I've got volume. Right, okay, so it's playing, that's good. So this is what we're making. It's a little album. It's got lots of distressing. It's got the Game On chess set that we've been using. The paper is the World of Good DSP, and I've stamped all over it. It's got a little buckle, and this again is from the World of Good suite. So we've got the suede early espresso ribbon and the little buckle trim. So it's just going to slide open like that, and it opens. And it opens. Kit Barden, I can hear you breathing in already. Okay, so lots of distressed edges. I wanted it to look really old and tattered, really. Okay, and then it opens like this. All right, I'm hoping you can see all of this, so I'll slide it up a bit. All right, let's move the camera down a bit. Hopefully you can see it all. So it's got a pocket here. Okay, so there's a pocket just to be able to put a photo in. Okay. Oops. Hang on. It will go, they do go back in. I just stuck them really tight. Then there's another pocket here and another pocket here. So we've got some distressed pockets, some distressed matten layers. And then if I turn it over, Again, we've got distressed mat and layers and stamping. And quite a lot of it is just your stamping and your mat and layers. And it's literally one 12 by 12 piece of card. So you can do this, okay? I'm absolutely positive all of you can do this. So this was the layout that Susan Wong used. She had 2 of the worlds cut out and then a watercoloured world. So I've watercoloured my chess set. She had some twine and some washi tape kind of coming out of there. So this is my take on it, okay? So we're going to make a start. I'm just going to fold it all back up. It folds all really neatly like that. I'll show you how I've made my buckle stay on. It's just a little split pin, okay? Breathe in. I am distressed. Kit, you can do this, darling. It's so easy. Seriously. You get my newsletter, darling, you'll be able to do this. There is no need to be distressed. Okay, so this is what we're doing. Right, so I've got some bits already cut. Okay, I'm going to move my tools a bit out the way. Okay. And I've got bits already cut, but I'm going to talk you through those bits in a minute. And somewhere she says she's got her instructions. This is my instructions and exactly what they are, which bit is which. So that is my instructions. Okay. So the first thing we're going to need is a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. Okay. And I'm going to bring it as much into shot as I can. All right. And that's the pokey tool. Should we get the right one so I can actually do the scoring, which would really help, wouldn't it? And it's going to be right over the other side. Hang on, there it is. Right, so the first thing we're going to score on one side, okay, let's move that out of the way for a minute. We are going to score, I feel better, sign up for the newsletter. Yes, it's going to be on this one, Baz, okay? Morning, Linda. Linda, this is a huge project. It's going to be on my newsletter, so sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already. Right, so the first score is 3 3/4 and then 4. Okay, the next score is 7 7/8, okay, and 8 1/8. All right, so that's all of those. Then we're going to turn it 90 degrees, okay, and we're going to score at 2 1/4, okay, and at 2 1/8. So 2 1/8 and 2 1/4 gives you a little channel. All right. Then we're going to score at 7 1/8. Okay. And that is our scoring. That's our scoring done. Okay. So I can move the scoreboard. Pop it away. Pop those back over there. I need to grab a bone folder. Okay. Let's grab a cleaner one, shall we? I've got one that I tend to use with lots of ink. And a pair of scissors. Let's use those. And I'm going to use a big pair as well. Okay. So the first things we're going to need to do is we're going to need to cut some channels. Now we're going to need, so I've turned my paper, this is the top. So the smallest of the 9 squares or rectangles is at the top. Okay. No, Barbara, of course I don't mind you. It's lovely to see you. Don't mind who joins, share it with your friends, get them all to join in. The more people that watch in, the better it is. Good morning. Oh my God. Good morning, Leonie. How are you, my darling? Right, so we're making, I'll just recap quickly. We're making this little album, okay? So this is, opens, and I was just explaining that Susan Wong inspired me with her card layout design. So this is the front of my album. So we're just making this very simple little album, okay? So I'll just fold that back to one side. So the base, so it's a 12 by 12, okay? And all the measurements will be in my newsletter later, okay? So we're going to need to cut this section and this section and this section and this section. So basically, on the shortest rectangles at the top, you're going to cut the tiny channel out. And on the ones on the bottom, you're going to cut the tiny channel out. I'm going to grab my other scissors because they're nice and big, and I'm just going to, hopefully you can see this. You could do it with your trimmer if you wanted. I'm just going to do it with my scissors. Right up. Glad you can't see my face because my tongue was out then. As I was lining it up, my tongue was out. It's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Morning, Diana. You're not late, darling. I'm just cutting the base for our project this morning. It'll be a night. You'll be able to see what it is in a minute. It'll be a nice surprise. You need to sign up for my newsletter, which is at www.crunchycrafts.co.uk. Sign up for my newsletter and you'll get all the measurements in my newsletter for this project. Cute little album. We'll have to catch it later to make one myself. My darling, Leonie, I would be so honoured if you made one of my projects. That would be amazing. I hope you're well, my sweet, and that the weather's treating you well. Right, hang on. So we're just still cutting all these channels. Okay, Wendy, I'll catch you later, darling. Have a good day. Your garden is looking amazing. Right, so I've just snipped all those channels. Okay, and I'm just going to use my snips now so you can see which bits. I'm just bending them up and in so you can see which bits I've cut. Okay, so we're just going to snip these bits out. And the last little bit. Okay, and that's your album. So that is the base of your album. So now we can fold everything. Okay, so fold these bits up. Okay, burnish them. I seem to have ink everywhere. I've no idea where I've got it from, as I used a clean piece of grid paper. Then just bend those back down, but it's going to be covered up and distressed anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so look, I need to snip down further than that. Oh, I know where I'm getting from. I've got an inky stamp up there and it's catching on the paper as I'm turning it. What a pain. But it's fine. It's fine because we're going to cover it all up anyway. Right, so let's get those bits out. As I keep telling everybody, I need a bigger desk. I need a bigger house and a bigger desk. If anybody can find me a fairy godmother to grant me a craft room and a bigger house, that would be amazing. Right, so I'm just folding in these top score lines, okay? And then I'm folding the second score line. Now this is going to kind of give you a little channel at the top, okay? So that when you put photos in this and bits and pieces, you've got that extra, okay? So then again, we're going to fold all of these this way. So you've got channels down the sides for exactly the same reason, okay? Right, so that's everything. So it will all fold up, look, like this, like this, like this. These bits will fold in and it will fold once and twice. And that is the basis of your album. Thank you, Linda, so much, darling. It is so hot in this room. Do you know what? Even the backs of my knees are sweating. That's disgusting. I'm sorry, but they are. Right, so, okay. So that's my little album. That's you know, that's the basis of it. 1 12 by 12, and that's it. So we're going to go on to, we're just going to do our flaps. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I did the flaps. So I've got 2 rounded and 1 with this lovely point. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do all of those. All right, so let's bring in, so this is still in the catalogue. So this is our corner rounder. So I'm just going to corner round. And the trick to this is to punch the whole thing down. Okay, so I'm going to bend those ones in, pop that in. Okay, so that's my corner rounder. Now I'm doing 2 opposite ends with that. Okay, one, bend that one in. I'm hoping I'm still in shot while I'm doing all of this. And that one in. So we've got our corners rounded, okay? So I can pop that one back out the way now. I'm gonna need that one in a minute. Now, I showed you how to create a label yesterday Thursday with just using this bit of the tailored tag punch. Now, I want to show you how you can edge your corners using this as well, okay? So, I'm going to bend all those in because I'm only working on the middle one, okay? So what I did was I lined it up. I hope you can see it. So the bottom edge, if I point it out with the snips in a minute. So the top edge of this was lined up in this triangle, okay, here. And the edge here is lined up with the side, okay? So literally, I'm just punching off that bit and it's going to give you an even edge, okay? So again, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to line the top edge and the bottom edge up. Oops, hang on, get that off the bone folder and it won't slip. Okay, so they're lined up. I'm just going to hold it there so I can double check it. That looks about right. So you can see that I've got the top lined up in this triangle here and the bottom is lined up there, okay? Just move that over slightly because I moved it then. I'm going to punch and that gives us, it's fairly even, it's not perfect. Didn't do it perfect that time. Let's try and, that's better. That's better, okay? So that's another way that you are. Thanks, Leonie. I kind of was impressed with myself, I have to say, babe. So that gives you another great edge because we're always looking for different ways to edge something and I'm really impressed with that. So that's kind of my edge, okay? So that is the basis of our album. So any 12 by 12 cardstock will do that for you, okay? So your measurements, that's a cute trick. Thanks, Barbara. Your mats and layers. The left side and the middle side are exactly the same. The right side is 1/4 of an inch difference, okay? So I've already cut some mats and layers and I'm just going to pop those to one side because I want to show you how we're going to stamp and layer and because we need to do some stamping because otherwise, you know, what's the point of you know, doing this? So we're going to stamp the top edge and one flap, okay? That's what we're going to stamp in here because everything else is stamped on extra cardstock and I'm going to show you how to do that because I've literally, there's no masking. Amber, you're not late to the party, darling. Good morning. It's lovely to have you here. There's lots going on. We're making that little album. Instructions will be in my newsletter, www.crunchycrafts.co.uk. Sign up for my newsletter, okay? And the instructions will be in that. I'm going to be typing that this evening and sending it out. Linda, I'm going to send you a picture of the tiny area I work in. Right, so let's move that to one side. And as I said, we're doing all this over stamping. So this one was done in cinnamon cider. And these are the colours we're going to be using. So again, we're using the World of Good paper, okay? But this time we're using Bumblebee with Berry Vanilla. So I have cut some of this to size ready, okay? I've got that bit in case I need it. So it is all of it 4 5/8 deep, okay? That's what we've got. Or for the pockets, 4 1/2, okay? So there is a little bit of difference, okay? Literally 1/8. So we're going to stamp and then we're going to cut these into size. So we're going to do those two first and this one, okay? And they're all going to be stamped in exactly the same way. So I've got the checkers And with the checkers, we are using Sahara Sand. I have got the playing cards with the lovely Bumblebee, and this is where the ink was coming from. We've got Early Espresso with the chess pieces. So I'm going to start light to dark. Okay, so we're going to do everything exactly the same way. So we can do all 3 pieces, okay? And I'll show you how I've done them all. If I just layer them all up, then I can just literally whiz through them. So I just literally randomly, very random, I'm doing this very fast because I want to be able to show you, literally random stamping, and I'm stamping 3 times, okay? Another one there, just so it's covering, all right? No rhyme nor reason, just literally we want it to, you know, kind of be on there. Doesn't matter if you go off the edge, it's a good thing. Doesn't make your edges look so hard. So again, that's that one. And then we're going to do this one. Okay, so again, and don't worry if you think, oh, I can't see that, it's not dark enough. It's still there and you can see it. It gives added texture and depth to your pattern. And don't ever be afraid to stamp on top of DSP, because you're creating something completely unique to yourself. Okay, morning Chanel. Oh my God, my phone was on silent. Were you still celebrating, darling? My lovely Chanel Wise promoted to silver last night. I am so proud of her. But there we go. So, right, so that's that one. So I'm just going to pop that out the way. All right. Oh, I so need a bigger desk. Right, so the next colour we're going to use is Bumblebee. Okay. Your craft room, Shirley, is lovely. Right, so I'm very honoured. I've actually been to Shirley's craft room. It's very cool. Right, so literally random stamping, turning my cardstock, stamping off the edge and over stamping, okay? Because that's kind of the effect that we're after, all right? So don't worry the fact that I've got over stamping and I've got other bits and pieces going on. That's what we're after on this. All right, I need a few upside down. This is, you know, it's grungy, it's yeah, it's a bit of everything. I love this. I love doing this. Baz, if I said to you that Chanel's done it in 3 months, less than 3 months actually, right, so there we go. We've got our playing cards on all 3 bits now. I might come back and do an extra set of playing cards in a minute. In fact, to tell you what, let's do them now. They'll fit on there because I might want to just change my front up a bit. So we'll do an extra set just in case I decide I need them, okay? So they're there. I'm going to put them to one side. So then the last one we're doing is our chess set, okay? So let's stamp our chess set. Again, doesn't matter if you stamp it over the cards, over your chess. Right. Okay. I'm happy with that, I think. I might want one coming in there. One coming in there. Let's have a bit down there as well. Right, so that's that one. So you can see how that's added something extra to that, you know, to the DSP. It's really, we've still got the pattern of the DSP. You can still see what it is, but you've added something completely extra to it, which makes it just uniquely yours. Okay, so let's do the same thing with this. Over stamp that bit and that bit. Okay, I'm going to start turning my block because sometimes it's easier to turn my block than it is to turn the paper, especially if you're working on a big piece. Right, I'll have my block upside down there. Okay. Right. Okay, that's that one. Right, so last one, we've got the bumblebee one. Okay, and I'm making sure I'm stamping off the edges as well. Let's have a bit on that way. I'm gonna have one going down in this corner. I'm trying to work quite fast because I know there's some cutting. Morning, Gemma, and stuff going on. If you love what I'm doing, please share my posts and my Facebook lives on your pages. You know, I just love to inspire everybody else and see what they're doing. And then if you've done stuff, please add it. Wow, that's a bit full on. It's great. Do you know what, Barbara? When I first started Stampin' Up 7 years ago, I would have been absolutely petrified to have done this. If somebody said to me, you're going to stamp all over patterned paper, there's no way I would have stamped over a piece of patterned paper. There's no way I would have over stamped like I've just done. It would have scared me. And it looks honestly, I'm sat here thinking, wow, what a mess. And at this stage, it looks a complete and utter mess, okay? But, where's my bits? We're now going to cut it to size and we're going to distress it, okay? So those are, let's put these bits to one side. So these are some bits I've done earlier, look, and you can see I've distressed the edges, okay? So I'm going to cut 3 more of these this size, all right? And I'm going to cut my pockets. So we're going to do our cutting first and then we're going to distress everything, all right? So our mats and layers, or our mats, because we don't have any layers. So I've already got 3. We're going to cut our front ones, which is the outside, okay? These 3. And I must remember to stick the ribbon down only on this one before I do anything else, okay? So these 3, okay, are all 4 5/8 deep, okay? I love it. Absolutely love stamping on DSP. Right, let's make sure I've got it the right way up, although it doesn't matter because it's this. So it's 4 5/8 and 2 of them are 3 5/8, okay? So that's 1, 2, and if you keep them in order, this little journal or photo book or whatever you want to use it for, your cover will run in order. So I've got left, middle, and then the last one is 3 1/2, okay? Right, okay, left, middle, right. Literally there is 1/8 of a difference, okay? So left, middle, right. So just so I know, somewhere I've got a pencil. Do you know what? My desk is so big, I lose everything. There it is. Right, so we've got left, middle, right. Okay, so I know that they're in order now, and that is the top. Okay, so that's those. So I can just pop those to one side now because they're ready. The next bit we're going to cut is these bits. And these are some of these. So I've already got 3 cut. I technically only need 1. No, I don't. Yeah, I technically only need 1. All right. So I'm just going to cut 1 more. And then I can put this with the rest of them. And this bit will be 3 5/8 by 4 5/8. So I know it's already at 4 5/8. And I'm going to make a card with this bit. Okay, so watch out because there will be a card made with that bit. Waste not, want not. So I've now got 4 of those and I need to just distress that one. Okay, so you need 4 of those. Then this one, okay, we're going to make our pockets. These 3 pockets, okay? Now, 2 pockets are the same and 1 pocket is different. These 2 are the same. This one is different, okay? So our pockets are 4 1/2 inches deep, okay? And we've got 2 at 3 5/8. All right, so that's 1, 2, okay. So again, where's my post-it notes? I've got left, and that's the top. Oh, 2 post-it notes there. Can't get it apart. right, that's left top. This is the middle, and that's the top, okay? And then this is the last one, and this one is 3.5. But you knew I was going to say that, didn't you? Do you know what, Diana? I have an idea for this. I think, okay, that I can do a Zoom class and you will be able to join in using products you've got at home, darling. So watch out for an announcement about that, because I so want to be able to join in and do a Zoom class. So that would be amazing. We just need to work the time differences out. So, right, so that's all of our bits cut except for the little bits which go in your pocket. Oh no, we've got one piece of DSP, and this is again from the World of Good, and it is 3 5/8 by 4 5/8. And again, I've basically rubbed the corner until I've been able to separate it slightly, and then I've gone round it with a distressing tool, but you can do it with a pair of scissors, and then I've edged it with early espresso. Okay, so that's the last piece there, and then we've got 3 inserts, which are 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so we've got 3 of those. I've then pre-stamped and cut 2 of the chest pieces to go on the front. Okay, and we don't need that bit, so I can pop those out way. So this is all our cutting done now. Okay, right, I've got one little chest piece to show you and some playing cards now. All right, so we're going to move on to the decorating, and then I can put everything together. I'll show you how to do the buckle and everything else. So I'm just going to grab my water pens, if I can find them. So I've got these lovely, these are amazing. These are the new ones from Stampin' Up. They are absolutely fabulous. I like them more than the old aqua painters. Okay, right, so I've got a little bit of water in that one. Just make sure there's some in there. Yeah, brilliant. Right, so I'm going to, on the other book, I coloured it in cinnamon cider. So on this one, we're going to colour the chest pieces. Let's get some water in there. There we go. Okay, we're going to do them in Bumblebee. Okay, so I'm just going to lay these down like that. Okay. And I just want to get some colour on them at the moment, because the shading, thanks to the stamp set, is already there. Okay, so it is literally just about getting your colour on. Okay, I'll do that bit a bit darker at the top. Okay, and I'm not the best at watercolouring, all right, but I do enjoy it. Right, so we've got our, let's drip a bit more in there. Okay, now I'm using very vanilla. If you use shimmery white or watercolour paper, that's even better. But I do find as long as you don't add too much water, you can use your very vanilla and your whisper white. If you were doing everything where you needed a wash and you needed a watercolour wash, I would definitely use shimmery white or watercolour paper. But I didn't want to wash, I just want to add some colour. Okay, right, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of dark bits off there, because I want to make those top bits darker. And also, just to add where it's got the shading, I just want to add the colour slightly deeper, so we've got that darker Bumblebee colour. Not doing it too much because I don't want to overpower them, and I also don't want them just to blend in to the cardstock that we've stamped behind. I kind of want them to stand out, which is why we've got the ones that aren't coloured as well, because they're going to sit behind them. Okay, right, so I'm going to pop that to one side to dry. Shall I do a wash on the playing cards? I tell you what, let's grab the Sahara sand, pop that to one side, pop that to one side, and that one. Okay, morning Doreen. Right, so I've got my Sahara sand. Let's just clean my brush off a minute. Okay, again, I want a really, almost a neutral wash really on this. And I'm literally just gonna make my playing cards look dirty, look. Which is quite good, because the whole idea is that this album looks quite grungy. I kind of didn't want to make it girly, because I didn't want it to be a girly album. A kind of, you know, this is the kind of thing you could give to a partner if you were going travelling, or your son if he was going travelling, or, you know, or your dad or whatever. Right, so there we go. We've got our kind of grungy cards now. Okay, right, I can pop that one to one side, and I'll get rid of my water brush. So these come in a pack of 3, the water painters. 3 different sizes, small, medium, and then this one. Look at this one. How amazing is that? So that's brilliant for doing stripes. Okay, so that's those 3, and they live in their packet, which makes them incredibly easy to find. Right, so I'm just going to pop those to one side to dry, because that's what we need those to do. And we're going to do this bit of our album. So we're going to do the back, okay? So, we haven't done our stamping on the things. I take it all back. Right. So we're just going to very quickly do this stamping on here. Okay, so and I was fairly careful not to go over the top, okay? You could use a post-it note if you want, but I was fairly careful. I kind of wanted it more on that bottom edge, okay? So let's get our bumblebee. Okay, right, so kind of a bit over that edge. We'll have one coming that way and one coming in there, I think. So that's the cards. All right. Right, last but not least, we're going to use our chess pieces. Okay. And we're literally going to be randomly stamping, okay. Take that bit that way. My tongue was out then. And that bit that way. Okay. Well, I think I want one there like that. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Right, we're going to use the early espresso again in a minute, but we're not going to use the chess set. So, right, now we're going to concentrate on our back. Okay, so the first thing we need to sort out is our piece of ribbon, and it needs to go from here around the front and one length again. Okay, so you kind of need as long as your album. All right, so I'm just going to cut that. Okay, so I can pop that to one side. Now, my pokey mat, which I've got here, this is one I use, this piece of foam that I use for poking holes in stuff. Okay, I have in my stash a packet or a box which has lots of retired bits and bobs in. Okay, so I've got retired split pins, safety pins, all sorts of things, and in my retired box is some little split pins which look like buttons. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm kind of hoping to find one that's got, that was fine. Okay, what do I want? You want something that's fairly flat. You don't want something that's, is that the one I want? There's two different ones in here. Right, okay, so I've got the one I want. So what you're going to do, so these are the current elements, the antique elements. So we're going to thread our buckle on, okay? So you're going to thread your buckle through and through again, because in essence, we want to create a belt buckle, okay? So we want to be able to keep it so that it sits there like that, okay? So once it's in there and I've got a piece behind it, and I didn't want to do it too close because I don't want it to fray. I'm literally straight down going to poke my pokey tool, okay? So I've got a hole. Then I can pop the split pin in the top, all right? And then open it up at the back. All right, so we've now got a buckle, all right? There we go. So, piece of red tape, because it needs to be fairly strong. All right, sorry, there's bits falling out all over the place. Now, you don't want to go right edge to edge, because our DSP is not going edge to edge, okay? And it's in the middle section. So I'm kind of lining it up in the middle, and I'm just putting some red tape there. All right, like that. Okay, I'm going to take my red tape off, and this side is going to fold in, this side is going to fold over, okay? So I want my buckle to wrap round the front a bit. So it's going to be like that, okay? So that will then wrap around there, and that bit will thread through, okay? So now we can decorate the back, all right? So with our papers here, we've got right, middle, left. Now we need to distress them, okay? So grab your scissors or a distress tool if you've got one, okay? And with your scissors, just go along the edges like this, okay? And you kind of want to rough them up a bit, okay? Like that. If you've got a distress tool, use a distress tool. We used to sell them, we don't anymore. Okay, you're just trying to rough the edges of the paper up, all right? So, mind you don't cut your hands while you're doing it, all right? All right. So I've got left, middle. I'm kind of like scratching along the top. Are you all asleep yet? Nobody's commenting. Am I boring you? I'm worried. You've all gone quiet. So I booked an Iceland delivery, shopping delivery yesterday. I thought I'll book it early. So the slot was between 6 and 8 a.m. So what time do you think my delivery turned up this morning? Hazard a guess. Any takers on that? Yeah, you've got it. You're watching carefully. 6 a.m. morning, Trace. 6 a.m. my shopping was delivered. The good thing, I'm going to switch to my tool, actually. It's quicker. Right, so this is the tool Stampin' Up sold. It's got lots of little blades in it. It just makes it much quicker for me to show you this, okay? Scissors work just as well, but if you've got one of these, use this. It's quicker. Okay. And I don't mind if I'm scrunching my paper up. Okay. So, frog in my throat, right? So we've got left, right, middle. Remember, it's important to have those in the right places. So, brand new dauber, because I broke my other one. We're all in awe. Right, so I'm inking up. It's just paper, Barbara, honest. Right, so I'm just inking up the edges, okay? Again, you want it to look dirty. Can't ever believe, I've never thought I'd be saying to people you want your cardstock to look dirty. Okay, so that's the left one. Bear in mind the top is the top, all right? Because this bit doesn't fold over, okay? Now you can see why I'd pre-done some of these bits. That's the middle one. And I don't mind if I end up with ink across my paper. It's kind of, it's messy, okay? Right, now, on this, I've got to work out which one it is now. Hang on. On this right one, we really want this corner to be really yuck, okay? So I'm kind of like going to screw this corner up. So this is the right one, and I'm screwing up the top left-hand corner, okay? I'm really working that cardstock. All right, I'm going to ink it up as well. Don't worry about your fingers, all right? And then I'm going to split it, hopefully, she says. If it's going to go wrong, it'll go wrong on camera. There we go. Right, I'm splitting it, okay? So I can ink the back up and ink the front up, okay? And I can bend that a bit and make it look a bit yuck and that bit. So there we've got our really manky edge, okay? So with your ribbon, you're just going to want a little bit like that, because we're going to kind of create a bit of washi tape, all right? So there's my ribbon. So I'm going to grab a couple of glue dots. Top tip for your glue dots, ribbon round your glue dots, okay, stops them all unravelling. So I'm going to grab a glue dot and stick that together how I want it to go, okay? So I've got that. Then I'm going to grab the next one, okay? And I'm going to just pop it like that. So I know it's there, okay? It's there and it's ready. That's good. Right, so let's just shut the ink pad a minute before I mess it up completely. Right, so now we can stick these bits down, okay? So remember, the ribbon is only going underneath the middle one, all right? So I'm using Seal Plus, all right? Blow the bits off. If I, there it is, okay? And I'm using Seal Plus because it's a strong, and I'm doing it for time, okay? Because I'm aware that obviously time is ticking on. All right, so we're going to line those up. So that's one, so that one's done. We can get rid of the post-it note. This one, the ribbon is going under, okay? Like that. As I said, this is all going to be on my newsletter, okay? So that one is like that. So www.crunchycrafts.co.uk, and it will all be on my newsletter. Oh, look at that, tore my paper. Never mind, it's on the back. Right, so I've got my tattered edge. Okay. There's a little bit of glue there. Right, so that's my tattered edge. Oops, don't want that stuck there. All right. So when we fold this in, dun, 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 like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. There you go. That is going to wrap around like that. All right. He just went and signed up for the newsletter. Well done, Linda. So we're going to put our pockets on the inside now. I'll tell you what, I'm not happy about this here. I'm just going to ink up a few of these just on the inside flaps because I've got some ink on it. It's all a work in progress. I've got early espresso ink absolutely everywhere. All I can say is thank goodness I have not got a white outfit on, because I would be covered in early espresso ink by now. Now I know why I always wear dark jeans. Right, so we can start to build some of this, which is why I've already got some of these bits pre-done. Okay, so our pockets, we've got left, middle and right. So I'll pop those on in a minute, but we can build up now. We can pop this one on into there like that. And we can pop two of these ones, which I've pre-done, made tatty, onto those. Okay, so let's just making sure I've got the right ones on the right one. That's better. Okay. Once you've done your stamping and you've cut your bits, the longest bit is doing your edging. Okay. She's down there. She's got a bone, Linda. They've got a couple of antlers, although I'm after some more. So if anybody knows anyone that works somewhere where there's deer and they could get me some antlers, I would absolutely love it, because they're so expensive. And they absolutely love them. And it keeps them very amused while I'm doing this. Right, so that's those bits. Okay. So again, very quickly, and I'm going to do it very quickly because you must be bored stupid watching me doing this. I'm going to edge these. Okay. I tend to sit and watch this, do this when I'm watching the telly, if I'm doing stuff like this, because you can just kind of just do it. Okay. And I'm not bothered whether it's tearing the paper, because I want it to, it's got to have that kind of yuck look. Okay. And I'm not being particularly gentle with this. It's, you know, I'm being quite rough because it needs to look rough. Okay. Right, so where's my dauber? More early espresso, just to make myself even more grungy and dirty. I was never a kid that liked dirty fingers, actually. I didn't like my hands getting dirty. It's very different when it's Stampin' Up! Ink. I can cope with that. Right, so that's that one. I just wanted to show you this week that this stamp set is a lot more versatile than people thought it was. A lot of people dismissed it, but we've created 2 very different cards and a 3D project this week with this one. Okay, so let's just shake this off a minute. There we go. Check I've got the right bits in the right places. Yeah. Grab our seal. Now the trick to these is you don't press too hard, and also don't slide it sideways like I do, because then you'll have troubles with them. Okay, right, so okay, there we go. So that's that one. Are your newsletters by email? Yes, Barbara. So if you go to www.crunchycrafts.co.uk, you'll be able to sign up and they come out by email to you, darling. Okay. And this will be in there. I'm going to write it tonight, and then it will go out tomorrow. Okay, right. So that's those bits, which I've just stuck down instead of making pockets. Okay, we're going to put pockets on the top of them. They should have been 3 pockets. I was so intent on talking to you that I've stuck the tops. So we're going to make 3 pockets to go on top of them in a minute. It's going to go wrong. It's going to go wrong on this, isn't it? Right, let's turn this over and we'll do these last 2. One I've edged. That's good. Right, so I'm not going to stick the other one for a minute because I haven't edged it. So that one is going to go on there, okay? We need to stamp this one. So I keep saying I've finished the stamping and I keep finding a bit more. and then I'll show you how to create the pockets. Right, so let's just stamp that one quite randomly. I love Bumblebee. Not quite sure whether I like Bumblebee or cinnamon cider best. Have we any preference, you guys, to which you prefer, cinnamon cider or Bumblebee? Right, let's have a couple of chess pieces. Okay, I'm going to turn that up that way so I don't get it on there. Right, and that one. Right, okay, so that's that one done. Let's put that back over there. Let's quickly do this one, and then at least the outside is done, and I'll show you how to do the pockets, and then I'm going to rectify this one off camera with the pockets. Right, so where's my dauber? Okay. Bumblebee, I like Bumblebee, yeah. Yeah, go to Crunchy Crafts on Facebook and you can sign up that way as well. Crunchy Crafts, because I'm naturally dark on the outside, because I'm naturally brunette, but my brain cells are all blonde and fluffy. That's what my ex-husband said. Right, so we're just going to decorate the front a minute. Actually, let's see if I can get these. No, they're well stuck on. So we're going to create some pockets in a minute. I'm going to do my pockets differently. So we'll stamp that in a minute. Let's do the front. So this is our front, okay? So we've got pre-cut. Oh no, where's it gone? There it is. Okay, we've got pre-cut these two, okay, which I kind of want like that. I want the playing cards. Scissors. Okay. So very quickly, these cards are super to fussy cut, absolutely super. Okay. I watched Susan Wong fussy cut yesterday, and she's left-handed, and it was absolutely mesmerising to watch her fussy cutting. She made it look effortless and so easy. Just amazing to watch. Right, it's round that corner. Okay, so we can get rid of that bit. So I quite fancy the playing cards behind that as well. Oh, that's quite nice actually, with that tucked behind there. I wonder if we can achieve that. Yeah, I kind of quite like that. Right, let's just grab some glue, because those bits are staying exactly where they are. So I'm going to pick the whole lot up. And we're just going to glue those bits down exactly as they are. Pick them up again. Okay, there we go. I don't want that horse's head too far over. Slide it that way a bit, then his head's right. Okay, so, and then we're going to fussy cut. Oops, my scissors are all tied up. This one. Amy and Ash are just getting ready to go out. They're going to the aquarium today, I think. Ash is home from base, so they're going off to do something fun. Which is quite nice. The other one's at work. Right, so, oh, round his head, I missed a bit there, look. Round his head, round his ears. Right, I tend to get this point and then go up on this. Okay. Again, you can see I'm moving the cardstock, not my scissors. Right, straight over, round. And do you know what? Nobody would know if you cut the top off of one of these. because actually whoever you're sending this to wouldn't know the original design anyway, well, unless they were a demonstrator. And then they would be so grateful to receive something so beautifully handmade that they wouldn't make any comment anyway. Because it's never a mistake. It's... That's right. Dolly, thank you. Dolly! Dolly! Somebody's just walked past on the pavement. Honestly, you'd think we had a guard dog, wouldn't you? Right, so we're just getting rid of those inside bits, okay? You don't want to fussy cut these bits, you don't have to. It's entirely up to you. There we go, that one. And then last but not least, there you go. Right, so we've got rid of all of those. Right, let's grab some dimensionals. Okay, 1, 2, and I'm going to split a few in half and pop them up like that. Let's just use a little edge on that one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that then is gonna go about there, I think. Okay, so I haven't added the extra twine on this one. I'm quite happy with that as it is. Right, so I'm going to add some sparklies to it. Now we're using the wonderful gems that are in the Christmas catalogue because I kind of really like them. Where is my take a pick? There it is. All right, so I'm just going to slide a few off and add a few of those on. I'll put one there as well. Okay, so that is the front completed. Right, now we're going to sort my awful error. That's okay, Linda. Catch up with the rest later. We're going to sort the error now on making the pockets because I messed up. Okay, so we're going to have half pockets. That's what we're going to do. So we're very quickly going to stamp this bit. So I'm so sorry, ladies, I've made a mistake. It's not a mistake, though. It's just an opportunity to embellish. So we're just very quickly going to stamp this. Don't forget, all your instructions will be, and I'll photograph both of them and they'll go in the newsletter, okay? So everything will be in the newsletter, okay? With lots of other bits of info as well. Right, so again, randomly stamping. Make sure you're turning your cardstock so you've got bits and pieces going all over the place, okay? Right, that's those two bits. Last but not least, let's bring the chess pieces back in again. Okay, turn them upside down, have them coming off. Okay, I think we need to have one there as well. Okay, right, so we know our pockets are, oops, 3 5/8 wide. Okay, so let's just grab the trimmer and we're going to do them slightly narrower than that. So I'm going to do them at 3 4/8 wide. Okay, 3 4/8 wide. So I'm going to do them this way because then we can choose the depth. 3 and 4, so 3.5, all right, wide, and then each pocket, instead of being 4.5, we're going to make it 3 inches. Okay, no, we're not going to make it 2.5. Yeah, 2.5, 2.5. Look at that. 2.5, okay? So we've got 3 bits at 3.5 by 2.5, okay? So I'm not going to distress the edges on these. Right, I've got a little 3/4 of an inch hole punch, all right? And I'm just going to punch a tab roughly out the centre of each one. Okay, edge each one because you still want that edging, okay? Edge each one with your dauber. I need to grab my ink again. Okay. Like that all the way round, okay? Didn't do the hole in that one, look. Right. Don't forget, the grungier the better, all right? Because it will match everything else then. Right, so that's those 3. Right, I'm going to move these out the way because I don't want ink on everything now. So we're going to add our pockets now. So we're going to add 1, 2, 3. Right, I need to trim that one down just slightly. Right, one of them needs to be, hang on, 3 3/8, okay? Let's just, there we go, and that's that one, all right? So we've got those. So I'm going to, and I used snail, no I didn't, I used Tombow on this, and I did a very narrow bead of Tombow along 3 edges, okay? I'm going to pop that there like that. So that's 1. Again, a very narrow bead. Try and keep it as straight as possible. 2. 3. Okay. That's that one. Are you all asleep yet? There we go. Have a lovely day, Chanel. I'm sorry, guys, because it's gone over an hour and I hate that. If I hadn't made a mistake, we'd have been done. Right, so that, my lovely friends, thank you for bearing with me, is, let's pop these in. 1, 2, 3. Do you know what? I kind of like that more than the original way, actually. So there is your very grungy album that buckles at the front. I like the half pockets as well, actually, Shirley. Okay, and does up. You enjoying that, Yogi? Yogi's got the bone now. And does up. So there's one. Let's do the other one up. So you can see both colours. Okay. Morning, Amelia. Thank you, darling. There you go. So, thank you so much. Let's turn you up and down and around and whatever I'm doing with you a minute. Hang on. Thank you so much for bearing with me this morning. What have we been? About an hour and 10 minutes. Didn't expect it to be so long. If I hadn't made a mistake, it wouldn't have been. So thank you for bearing with me. I really enjoyed creating this project, and actually I'm going to be taking one of these today, and I'm just going to make the other card very quickly to a friend of mine whose 23-year-old is in a hospice with cancer. And I'm going to give it to her to give to him and his fiance, so that they can pop some photographs and some memories in it for the fiance. Right guys, stay safe. I will see you on Monday. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. Please, if you've really enjoyed today's video, can you share it on your Facebook pages? I really want to build up my audience. And don't forget, everything also goes straight onto my YouTube channel. Take care, stay safe, look after each other. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all on Monday. Bye for now.